My people, it's about that time.
Like a boss.
Live from the USA, helping you get paid every day. This is the boss of Bitcoin, the Cristo of crypto. It's your boy BK. And if you don't like me, you must not like money. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Today we are doing a live price analysis on Bitcoin BTC to the USD on a 343. We're going to be evaluating the chart to see if Bitcoin will drop, and if so, how much. But most importantly, my opportunity is to help you make as much money as possible as the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of humanity. So if this is your first time tuning in, congratulations, baby. You are now rocking with the best. My name is BK, also known as the Crypto Trader, and I'm the boss of these charts, as you will soon find out. Every day I grace this microphone with my voice is another day you get to profit as a result, and today is no exception. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you like this video and subscribe. I do give away free Bitcoin every single Friday, and all you need to do if you want to win some free BTC is leave me a comment, shout out your city, let me know where in the world you are tuning in from, and on Friday I will pick a random winner, a random comment, and bam! It's just that easy to get paid. So without further ado, let's make it do what it do. Let's go ahead and make this money. So here we are. This is the chart I drew in my last Bitcoin analysis video about a week ago. The thing I like about this chart, first of all, we are using a very, very, very long time frame. This is a 343. So that means each one of those little candles in there is 343 minutes long. That's about 5-6 hours, right? So when you zoom out far enough, you can get enough data to where the trend more or less, the candles more or less disappear, and you can start to pinpoint different sections of energy that had major influence on the next section of the chart, right? So we started this sequence on January 1st, 2023. That was basically when Bitcoin was at probably the lowest price you go see it for the rest of your life. $16,000. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Wall Street got the memo. They was like, oh, Q1 23, we about to start buying this up. No problem, right? It's almost like Q1 of every year, probably from here indefinitely, is probably going to be bullish for Bitcoin, because it's like the first fiscal year Wall Street get all they fake new money printed up, all the fiat papers, and they go jump in the markets to make some waves and make some money. But here we are. So this was the sequence, right? This is our Fibonacci. This is basically the first cycle that this entire chart is predicated on. I wish, it's a lot of colors. Maybe throw it a nice blue, right? Let's give it a blue hue, right? So that's the Fibonacci that everything came together on. So when we stretch out those bands, this is what we get, breakout to breakdown. You see, we capstoned right here at the 4.6 to the 4.2. Right? And now we're coming up on this thing, and then the way I got these trend lines is this is it right here. So maybe I should do this one in red so it'll match it, right? Low to low. And I think I might have drew them in on a 77, but essentially you're able to replicate that to where when you go low to low and copy and paste it and drop it in at these different points, it carries all the way through. So it's very, 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 very clean cycle, right? Simple extension. Now we're in this part of the curve, and this is basically a blow-off consolidation area, right? And this consolidation has been going for quite some time. I think one of the things that is notable with this sequence is over the course of, what is this, going back almost 9 months now, we've consistently made lower lows on each one of these peaks. So if one is going to argue, which I am not necessarily doing at the time, but if one is going to argue that Bitcoin is going to go down, that's something that they would look at. They will say that we've made lower highs and we've made lower lows, right? So essentially it's running out of steam from the inside out. I don't think that's necessarily too much to worry about. As I've shown in this chart, we still have some runway. Like, we still have 2 more bands, that we can catch and have continuity on. And the last one isn't projected to extend itself through our cycle until middle of November. So it's just now August. So even if Bitcoin does fall, right? Because inevitably it has to decrease its price at some point. Right now it's at about 60,000. If it does fall, I think what would be comfortable is a pullback to around 55 to 57, somewhere in that green box, maybe a little bit below that line. You could see this thing sell off even more, as low as I would feel comfortable with. Anything above 50, it still has a chance to rebalance itself, because you see it can just overshoot the line. So say it did sell off, right? Did something like that. Boom. It could just overshoot the line, get rebought back in here, and still be in that channel before November. That's not the end of the world. What I think people forget at this point in time, you have so many fiduciaries and billion-dollar machines trading Bitcoin, working to manipulate the markets to make profit for the financial institutions. And a lot of times you'll see right before a chart takes off, they will intentionally oversell it just to liquidate all the longs, because they know they're going to buy it up. And they don't like to share their money for anything, right? So if you're foolish enough to, long an asset that you don't have financial control over, and you get liquidated, that's it. And I've seen it happen dozens and dozens and dozens of times in my trades. That's why I do not teach, using margin. Like, if we're going to trade 100% equity for equity, and we're going to let the trend pay us. Because when you look back over time, one candle doesn't matter. 6.5 hours does not matter on this chart. But we got about 18 months worth of consolidated data telling us a continuous story. And so now we form our part of the narrative to fit within the constraints of that existing dialogue, right? All that to say, Bitcoin can fall here. It can fall as low as 50,000, but even if it does, it still can go up within the projected timeline of the cycle that it's in right now. This cycle will not be complete until A, Bitcoin breaks 70,000, or B, the time breaks November 19th. And Bitcoin is either above or below, say, 58,000. I think it'll probably break out earlier. I think we'll probably... It's getting to the point of parity to where at some point it's going to have to play against the rest of the trend of the market. And I think maybe that's what's happening right now, because if we go back and look at the money markets, Dow Jones is at an all-time high, which is ridiculous. 41,000 for Dow Jones. But this is what concerns me, and this is really why I did this video. Right here. Total 2. That's our whole chart, you guys. That's the whole chart. Doesn't look like much, but let's go through on a 33-minute, right? This gives you about 10 days worth of data. But what's interesting, and this is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin. Essentially, all of the rest of the money, I think, is like 47% if we go to coin market cap. Bitcoin dominance is 56%, so the rest of the market is at like 44, right? This is the flow of that market, and that is not a very promising picture. That's actually what we call a pullback, to say the least, and that's the most concerning right there. When you get the middle intermediate money selling against the long money, well, guess what? The long money is going to come back down, and no matter what, this guy is net negative. 2 beats 1. He's not going to be able to win. So that means we're losing money from the altcoins, and this is what I've seen. And Bitcoin's price is not going up. So that money is essentially leaving the market. And that's really not good. And when I look at some of these charts, it's like, yes, some of them are poised to make, 5, 10, 15% BTC. However, the chart is still net negative. Prime example I think of this would be, is it AVAX? It's one of those coins on, let's see. Yeah, right here, AVAX, right? So AVAX had a significant little run right here. Like, if you go on Crypto Bubbles and look up AVAX, it's like, oh, shoot, what happened with AVAX? How'd that do that? How'd that do that? Right? So let's just pop up the candle so you guys can see how this comes in. Right? Right now, AVAX is up 17% Bitcoin in the past 11 days. But the problem is, as I've stated, this blue line right here is net negative. Like, both of those lines are under water. And that's not what you want. When you go back and look at the course of the chart, like, once it comes above water, oh, it's clean and clear. And it's time. That's when that's when you need to have your life together. Because as much money as you could throw in the market, throw it on. And this is what I say, like, this is why I get excited about this stuff, because it's like, it's like, I live in Las Vegas, right? And people be loving them horse races. Like, my mama hit the trifecta last year. She picked 3 horses, boom, boom, boom. It was like Age of Empires, I think Philly Stout, something like that, or two Punks Field, something like that. I didn't pick that horse, but Age of Empire and Mage. And I had Age of Empire and Mage, so we went, like, between the two of us, we had like 4 out of 5. She had 3 for 3. But it's like, you get to change the horse that you're betting on in the middle of the race. Like, that's what this method does, because it lays all of the data out, and it says this is the part where you'll be most profitable at. And what we have right now, while it is possible to make some money, statistically speaking, when both of those lines are under that solid wave right there, it's going to go lower, right? Just like statistically speaking, when both of those lines are above that big wave, guess what happens? All the money in the world, you know what I'm saying, is coming into the market. And that's going to be one of my next videos. The rising tide floats all boats. Noah knew a flood is coming. You know what I'm saying? And the world will forever be changed. So I'm building my ark right now. I'm inviting as many people that want to come on board. I said, come on in. The doors are always open. Let's empower ourselves with some of this knowledge. Let's learn how these charts work, and let's change our life for the better. Let's wean ourselves off of the consumerist mindset and start to delegate our lives according to the path of, as my one faithful community member says, wealth stewards. We're going to be stewards of wealth, and that wealth more than likely will be decentralized. And so now we have to start to understand where these moments happen at and where it is most opportunistic to make this money, right? That's my long way of saying that's the window of time to make money in. And right now, 90% of these altcoins are not in that season. This is like, it's like August. You know what I'm saying? Like, it literally is like August in the chart. Like, we gotta wait till spring, you know, and August is like, it's still cooling down from the summer. We still gotta go through winter. You know, so I'm hoping like in 6 months, this chart could be somewhere up over here, right? Maybe as early as January. But again, that's a continued time. And I think one of the issues we have is that all of this money is connected behind the scenes. And Wall Street can't keep going up forever. I don't care how much fake money they print up. It's not designed to keep going up forever. In fact, the higher they push it up, the more it's gonna fall down. Like, this is the crazy part. The chicken's got to come home to roost at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting. So I could see, actually, now that I look at this stuff, I could see a pullback from BTC, right? Again, an even steeper pullback of the altcoins. Because if Bitcoin sells off, then the altcoins are getting hit twice as hard right now. And after that, once they decide how long they want to let this after party run on Wall Street, you know, then we can see what's going to happen with Bitcoin in the next part of the cycle. I think the election is very, very opportunistic for BTC. You know, I think King Bobblehead has already advocated for Bitcoin, and you know, he's more or less only unless they get a couple states to shut down their polls so they could go, quote, count the votes. You know what's so funny about this world? Like, we have had a solution for this vote counting problem for the better part of 10 years now, and they are still yet to introduce blockchain technology for political affairs. Counting the money, counting the votes. Like, that's what blockchain does by definition. You know, but it's funny. It's like the same problems happen every 4 years and they still ain't solved it yet. So, you know, maybe one day people will recognize, like, you know, it's a sick, sad world we live in these days. And that's what we got to look forward to. But in the meantime, Bitcoin is, you know, the best performing asset in the world, even when it's not making immediate returns. I think the longevity of this asset speaks volumes. As I've said many, many, many times, Bitcoin right now, the price is $60,000, give or take. It's the most notable financial vehicle ever invented. It's the most useful financial vehicle ever invented. It's the most practical and most diversified in a sense that blockchain technology has endless utility. Bitcoin is the first working prototype of such said technology. Therefore, the two are indistinguishable from each other, henceforth, now, and forever. It's like somebody trying to separate the sun from the light. You can't do it. But together, they coexist and they create an entirely new world. And that's what we're seeing happening right before our very eyes. While it is making lower lows and lower highs, we could see this thing sell off to, and this is a different chart, but it kind of tells the same story. Sell off right here to about 50K. But as long as it recovers before election season, you know, and King Bobblehead resumes his throne, You know, maybe they're trying to kill it before that even happens, and that's the other thing too. Like, this is game theory, so they're gonna pull the plug when he takes office. They're gonna pull the plug on the economy. People are gonna get fired. They're gonna try to blame it on him, and so it's just a matter of time. Like, do they do it in Q1, year one, or do they do it in Q2, year 3? You know, it's going to happen. So now it's a question of how do we prepare for it? How do we respond to it? And how do we capitalize off the inevitability of global adoption for blockchain technology? It is the most notable financial vehicle ever bestowed upon humanity at $60,000 per square unit. And you cannot buy a new Mercedes-Benz for that amount right now. You buy you a new Mercedes-Benz about 70, 80 grand, you know, C-Class. And it's going down 20% a year guaranteed. Off the lot. Day one, down 20%. I just drove it home. 20% loss. Take that. Right? No diddy. But Bitcoin, it worked the opposite. It's like just hold on to it. You know, if you don't know how to swing trade like a boss yet, that's fine. We'll get there. But just buy it and hold on. Forget you even had it. Come back in 3 or 4 years, the price doesn't double. Essentially, statistically, that's what it is. As long as you hold it, I don't think you can count a 4-year period on record that Bitcoin's price has gone down since 2008. And I don't think you will ever be able to until everything goes down. Because there is no safe haven in a global reset, unfortunately. It's like a tsunami. It's like all the water is going to pull out, you know what I'm saying? And everything going to get real dry all over the place. And then big flood is coming. And that's when it's probably going to go from like, say 50,000 to like 150,000 in a month. You know, floodgates are going to open. We haven't seen that yet, but that's coming. That's what Noah knew. He knew that flood was coming. You know, and I'm just trying to get the people ready, trying to let them know, right? So here we go. That's what I got for you, everybody. If you appreciate these words, I most certainly do appreciate you. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way to let YouTube know this is valuable content. As I mentioned, my mission is to help as many people as possible change their lives for the better. This is the path that I've been given, right? Bossofbitcoin.com if you want to join my free trading group. Drop your phone number right there up top. I will send you a link for the Telegram group. I know I'm probably about a week behind on this. I'm just trying to make content every day, but those invites will get out this week. So if you joined last week, you definitely go get the invite. It's a pretty good little group right now. You know what I'm saying? We got some people I've been trading with for a few years, and we help each other to stay empowered and in profit in the market. So again, come on in. The doors are always open. And last but certainly not least, leave your comment if you want to try to win some free Bitcoin. Let me know in the world you tuning in from, and I will respond to each and every one of you guys and shout you out in the next episode as well. So with that being said, it's that time of the day. Signing out. Boss. Boy BK, no matter where you stay. Brazil to Bay, California, all the way back out through Jerk, Monet. Good night, good morning, and good day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time. Hit that thumbs up button for a player one time. Do that for me if you appreciate mine. Till we meet again, stay cryptic, y'all. Peace.
Well, the messaging app Telegram has questioned the
like
grounds.
a boss. Like